Hello everyone, my name is Nicole and today I'm going to make beef tamales. The first thing you have to do before you make beef tamales is you need 4 pounds of chuck roast. You take the entire roast and you boil it and then you simmer it for 3.5 hours. After it's simmered, you take the meat out of the pan and you shred it to look like this. You need to save the broth though, you'll need that in another step in the recipe. And then we take our corn husks and we soak them in boiling water for 3.5 hours as well. And then we also have 2 different types of chilies, the ancho chilies and the guajillo chilies. You also soak those in boiling water for 3.5 hours. Okay, now that the chilies have been soaked, we got to take our chilies and put them in some oil. It's best not to use your hands because you can get the really spicy chilies in your eyes if you happen to scratch your eyes. Peppers are fried, we're going to cut them and deseed them. You want to use gloves for this because the oils can be very volatile and cause harm to your skin and to your eyes if you accidentally scratch your eyes. I used 10 achillo and 15 guajillo peppers. So we cut the stem off and we open it up and we make sure we get all the seeds out. The seeds are what contains all the spice, so you really don't want a lot of seeds because the pepper itself is spicy enough. Now that I've deseeded all the peppers and took the stems off, we are going to make the sauce for the meat. So what we do is we take all the peppers, which because this is a small food processor, I can't do them all at once. We take the peppers and then we take some of this broth. Take some garlic. And the onions. A little salt. Oregano, and cumin. blend it all together. And this goes in the sauce, in the meat. So you want the sauce to be like a thick, kind of pasty consistency, and then you just dump it into the meat. And you just mix it all together with the meat. Okay, now we have our meat mixed with the sauce. You will have a little bit of leftover sauce that you will put into the masa that we're going to make next. Okay, now we're going to make the masa. We take our masa harina and we put a little bit at a time into this bowl. Take a little bit of broth, some Crisco, some of our sauce, then we mix it together. We just keep adding more, a little at a time, until we have all of it made. You want this to be kind of like a cookie dough consistency. The extra sauce will give the masa a little bit more flavor than if you didn't put it in it and you just used the beef broth. I'm just going to add a little more masa harina. It's kind of like kneading bread. So you want to be able to mold it so it's kind of like cookie dough. So it's really, really the right consistency. Now I have finished making the masa. Now if you do run out of beef broth or the sauce, you can also just add water to keep it into this kind of consistency. It's kind of like a cookie dough. So you take first your corn husk. Now because this is a small corn husk, we take 2 and overlap them. Take a spoonful of the masa. spread the masa. Add a spoonful of the meat. One olive. That's a family tradition. Most other people don't put the olive. Then you just roll it together. Fold the ends. And then you put it in a tamale pot. The tamale pot is kind of like a steamer. You can use a steamer pot if you don't have a tamale pot. You just fill the water up to the point of where the steamer goes, and then you put your tamales in and then you fill it up. Now that all the tamales are assembled, you take these tamales onto the stove and we turn it on and we wait for the water to boil. And then once the water is boiling, we take the lid, cover it, reduce this down to a simmer, and cook it for 1 hour. Okay, now the tamales are done, so we take the lid off. And the way you'll know they're done is it's spongy and it just pulls off. And there you go. Now if you want to see any of my recipes, any other recipes, you can just go to blogmylunch.com.